Hello, and welcome back to CDO Magazine Tech Talks. I'm Nick Halsey, CEO of Akira, and with me for our second segment is Tom Mazzaferro, who's the Chief Data Officer at Western Union. Tom, I wanted to talk a little bit about Western Union and some of the data strategies and opportunities you're pursuing there. And maybe you could start by just reminding people about all of the things that Western Union does, because I think we have an outdated notion that this is a telegraph company. And in fact, I think it's a global financial services company. So tell us a little bit about the lines of business you're supervising.
Sure. So a few things to kind of give the overall view of Western Union. So number one is we are truly a global company. So we operate in 200 different countries and territories across the world, 200. On top of that, we have over 550,000 agent locations that are retail locations that we service and provide the ability for people to come and to either send money or receive money across the world. Right. On top of that, we have over 40,000 corridors that we have opened up across these different countries, right? That allow either real-time money transfer as well as other services going forward. So we talk about the services and products of Western Union. There really are two major businesses that we have, right? So we have our consumer money transfer business, right, which supports millions of customers on a annual basis, and then we have our Western Union Business Solutions, which is basically providing payment services for small businesses or corporations, and then we also have our Western Union International Bank, which actually is positioned in Austria, that also supporting both the two other business lines, both CMT and Western Union Business Solutions, as well as it has its own branches as well across Europe. So we really have three different business lines.
That's an amazing and widely distributed infrastructure globally. I imagine the challenges around supporting that kind of a distributed operation across three lines of business is pretty daunting. How big is the IT and data teams that work to support that?
So the data team today is around 70 employees, but we also have quite a few third parties also supporting us as well. Right, so probably end to end is about a 300-person team, including our third party supporting the actual data organization. Across the larger IT division, we have a few thousand people that are currently supporting it. But if you think about what we put in place here with the automation and the capabilities, right, supporting 200 plus countries, right, and millions of customers, right, both corporates as well as consumers, right, we actually have a pretty streamlined and pretty efficient organization, right? So we look at Western Union as a whole, we have about 11,000 employees, right? But in turn, we actually provide services to all these countries, all these customers, and really enable them to basically live and transfer money to their friends and family and for emergencies to support their everyday lives.
That's very impressive. Have you been able to standardize pretty much on infrastructure that spans the globe, or have you had to regionalize the operations depending on where the business is?
So we do have a few different regional operations. So we do have an operation that supports the Western Union International Bank in Austria, and we also have one that supports our Russian operations, right, just due to some of the laws and regulations supporting that. Outside of those two, though, we actually have standardized, right, across the large majority of other countries going forward from a resource standpoint and from a support standpoint. From a technology standpoint, from a platform side, we actually do have quite a few different platforms that we actually are now in the process of modernizing, right, and rationalizing to the cloud. But as mentioned in the first segment, we also have some obviously data regulations that require certain platforms to be domiciled in those countries. So we still need to make sure that we manage to support those regulations and also support those customers in those countries.
I see that you joined Western Union in February of this year. So I'm sure it's been quite a learning curve. I'm curious, what was the most surprising aspect of the IT and data architecture when you started to learn about the business?
So two things actually surprised me, and I'll have on both here. The first one is the culture. The culture was just amazing. Right, it's just a great culture, a great company, very welcoming, and everyone's focused on doing the right thing for the customer. That was just fabulous to me. right? Number two was around, to your point, the architecture and the platforms, right? So over the years, they built some great things, right? And they're supporting these millions of customers across all these countries, but as part of that, as technology in the industry has modernized, right, there's an opportunity here to actually make things even more efficient and more effective and more automated, right, to provide even a better customer experience going forward. So, I think the piece that really, surprised me the most was also, the teams and the people with their openness to understand how we can actually enhance and modernize things even more so to actually further support and further provide a better customer experience across the world.
And when you came in, was there a specific major transformational project that was sort of the key charter for you as you came on board?
So there are a few large-scale enterprise programs that are already underway that obviously the data team has been plugged into and obviously supporting. We also have kicked off a few on our own to actually start to further transform the company going forward. One thing that we truly do look to do across the company is to have these cross-functional teams, right? Where we have teams from other IT software delivery teams, the data team, the business teams all coming together to really drive a holistic based product and solution that can really service our customers going forward. So as part of these large scale transformation efforts, these are things that we obviously focus on, is bringing the right people and the right skill sets and the right teams together to really drive the best solution going forward.
Now, you came out of a banking background. You had major roles for a number of years at JP Morgan Chase and HSBC. Western Union, as we've talked about, is also a financial services institution, but not quite the same as a global bank. What is similar and different between the two environments?
Sure. I think number one is the scale, right? So I thought JP Morgan Chase and HSBC were big, right? But if you think about the scale and the number of customers, Western Union has 3x the scale that HSBC has for the number of countries that it services, right? As well as the customers that it services, right? So that to me was an eye opener of how do we make sure that we really support and really build solutions to support the globe, right? That was number one. Number two is that as we came here to Western Union, there are great opportunities here to service and to support our customers going forward with other products and other partners. So one of the things we actually started to do is we launched a partnership with AXA Insurance, right, in France. Started offering insurance products to our customers, for example, right? So we're also looking at how do we provide other financial services or other products, right, and partner with other companies to really enrich, right, our customers' experiences and their lives going forward. I think that's really a great opportunity as everything that we've really been targeting to do here is really around how do we best service our customers, right, and our processes in the future.
This is something we hear from a number of the CDOs we interview, that they're starting to play offense around data. They're starting to build new products and services that can extend the lines of business in the industry. And I think most people start out on the defense side. They're playing defense around regulatory compliance. They want to make sure that security and compliance are job number one. But once they get that taken care of, you can start to get creative. Can you talk a little bit about that balance at Western Union and what kinds of new products and services you have been able to or think you can bring to market?
Sure, and you're absolutely spot on, right? I mean, our first priority is making sure that our security and our customers are safe and secure as they operate and transact with us, right? That is by far our first priority, right? But as we go forward and put that in place, right, there's a whole slew of things that we can do using data and using technology to better improve our customers' experience, right? The services that we offer them and the products that we offer them. So some of the things that we've done is around products, is you look at things in two different directions, which are two different, pieces. One is there are internal products that we can build to actually support our employees and our business lines to better service and better support those customers. So we built things with finance and accounting to better support the reconciliation processes. We built things within our business lines to better support their marketing and their campaigns to their customers, right? And then from a customer standpoint, you also can create products, right? That actually, where they have better access to their information, better ideas of what the transactions were, what their engagements were with us, and so forth, where they can more be able to manage and see their financial history, right, within our ecosystem. So all those things start coming to bear, and there's a whole lot more we can do. This is just a start.
That's fascinating, Tom. Let's wrap up this session for now, but when we come back for our third segment, I'd like to dig into some of the technology and infrastructure that you're using to build those new products and the extent to which you're using big data or analytics or machine learning to help drive some of that work. But for now, let's wrap up. Great to talk to you today, Tom.
Thanks so much for having me.